FSU student Maura Binkley was killed in a shooting last fall. How those close to her and our community are dealing with the tragedy.
Plus, can you stay awake for 24 hours? These FSU students did and put together an amazing showcase of talents. Find out how.
And he's already the winningest coach in college baseball history. How FSU is trying to make Mike Martin's final season in charge a grand slam. Thanks for joining us for this edition of Seminole Showcase. I'm Jarvis Floyd.
And I'm Bernadette Pigman. Friday, November 2nd is a day no one at Florida State will ever forget.
2 people were killed and 5 others injured in a shooting at a Tallahassee hot yoga studio. Maura Binkley and Dr. Nancy Van Vessem both died.
They were both members of our Florida State community. Seminole Showcase reporter Katie Schattler shares with us how those close to Maura are trying to heal.
Symbols of love line the walls outside of the Tallahassee hot yoga studio, where 21-year-old student Maura Binkley was shot and killed. She will forever be remembered at FSU.
She had a presence no matter where she was. I mean, whether you met her in the hall or you were talking to her one-on-one.
Dr. David Johnson was one of Maura's professors at the time of the event. He said that she was a fantastic student and person.
They then started thinking, well, I just wish she wasn't gone.
She was majoring in German and English. She was a member of Tri Delta. Maura was very friendly and always had a smile on her face. She was an advocate for change and dearly loved by those around her.
At first, I was just like, why? Why her? Why did this happen? Why Tallahassee? Like all the questions that everyone else was asking.
Our community has grieved and honored the victims through vigils, fundraisers, social media, and other memorials. People have leaned on each other as well as FSU's counselors.
I was just really confused and thinking about why would someone do something like that, because that's just disgusting. She should be here. She should be with her friends. She should be with her family. She shouldn't be gone like this.
I'll never be over it. It's just the pain has lightened.
There's a hole in that class. There's an empty space. And the space that she could occupy, that her presence is no longer there.
Maura Binkley and Dr. Van Vessem were 2 very valuable members of our FSU community. They may be gone, but they will surely never be forgotten. Reporting for Seminole Showcase, I'm Katie Schattler.
The FSU community is also mourning the loss of Dr. Van Vessem. She was a professor with FSU's College of Medicine. Those that knew her said that she was hardworking, optimistic, and caring. Some of her greatest joys were her 3 daughters. Her presence will forever be missed at Florida State.
Florida State students also had to deal with the aftermath of Hurricane Michael. FSU's Panama City campus reopened Monday, October 29th, after Michael left them without power for more than 3 weeks. Seminole Showcase reporter Zoe Ezekiels tells us how students and faculty dealt with the setbacks and are moving forward.
According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, Hurricane Michael hit Mexico Beach, Florida, with wind speeds of 155 miles per hour, putting it just shy of a Category 5 hurricane. Michael stormed through Florida's panhandle, causing a lot of damage to places like Panama City, the location of FSU's second campus.
Areas close to campus like Lynn Haven, Panama City, downtown Panama City, and they were pretty impacted.
The storm left students without a campus to return to. Many were worried about how they were going to continue to take courses and graduate on time.
My main concern is I was out of class for 3 whole weeks, and then my other outrageous thought was, what if I can't graduate next semester because I'm supposed to walk in May?
Though students missed class during and after the storm, the staff quickly came up with a plan of action to get everything back on track.
Part of this plan was letting students who live in Tallahassee take courses on the main campus. There were also extra materials put on the FSU Canvas website.
We worked with our partners in Tallahassee with Office of Distance Learning, and we provided supplemental instruction through technology.
But a lot of our stuff we are making up online, which is kind of hectic.
Because of the resources provided by faculty, Panama City students have gotten back on track to graduate on time.
I've submitted, I think, a total of 5 assignments within the past 24 hours.
For Seminole Showcase, I'm Zoe Ezekiels.
You can check out the FSU Panama City website for how to help those affected by the hurricane.
As we just heard, some of Michael's most severe damage was done west of Tallahassee. As Seminole Showcase reporter Sarah Short shares, FSU students and organizations answered the call to action to help relief efforts in the affected communities.
Before October 2018, the Florida Panhandle was the center of beautiful beaches and vacation communities. Now we know it as the center eye of the Category 4 storm, Hurricane Michael. Florida State students couldn't help but to support relief efforts for our neighbors in Panama City, Florida. Phi Kappa Tau fraternity members raised money and delivered goods to affected areas.
We were offering food and water to the people that were just outside their houses in that area. But it was crazy because in like 5 minutes, there was like, I guess the word spread that fast that like there was food and water that came into town because like people honestly didn't have anything. And a whole bunch of cars just started to pull up to where we were. Like, it was as if like an Amber Alert went out and people all of a sudden they knew that we were there.
Even though the university was shut down during the storm, the resources grew stronger for those who were affected. A group of friends on campus came together to create and sell t-shirts to support relief in their hometown.
Actually, we raised over like $5,000, and one of our friends' dads is a marshal in the police department in Panama City. So what we did with the money is that we're going to give it to him.
As our campus and homes return to normal, we hope for the same normalcy and comfort for our neighboring communities. Safely reporting for Seminole Showcase, I'm Sarah Short.
A total of $6,000 was raised from Maddie Stewart and the Phi Kappa Tau brothers.
In the wake of the hurricane, FSU students had to deal with the stress of increased workloads on the main Tallahassee campus. From October 9th to the 12th, campus was closed because of Michael. Upon returning to school, students were met with accelerated schedules as professors tried to make up for lost time.
So when we had the hurricane, some of the material we have to sort of incorporate into the lectures that were pre-existing, and then try to be available in office hours or in contact with students who might need extra help because the review day was shortened a little bit.
To combat the stress, students told us they found ways to cope with it, like exercise, playing video games, or hanging with friends. Florida State's campus was also swept up in election season. Now, Bernadette, what is one thing you would tell someone before election season?
Vote, vote, vote. Vote like your life depends on it. Last semester, the NAACP held an event called March to the Polls. Seminole Showcase reporter Lindsay Charles tells us how it encouraged civic engagement amongst college students.
In the fight to get their voices heard and encourage as much early voting as possible, the NAACP collaborates with both FSU and FAMU students to march from the Westcott Fountain to the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. NAACP President Nastasia Janvier explains the importance of marching to the polls.
It's really important because it not only tells millennials that they have a voice in the matter with governmental affairs and local affairs, it actually mobilizes students from all different areas of race, gender, religion. It doesn't matter what you are. The importance of civic engagement is for everybody.
As they march to motivate others, student participants explain why their peers should go out and vote.
Young kids between the ages of 18 to 25 are the largest voting bloc. We don't vote. We lost 5.7 million votes in the 2016 election because of that.
That is very vital and very important because at the end of the day that it's going to take a vital and important role in their lives.
Guest speakers of both parties were invited. Amongst them was Mayor Andrew Gillum.
So the first thing you got to do is you got to vote. The second thing you have to do is to push out on your social media and in every way that you can, in your classrooms, as you walk campus, whatever it takes, hold your friends, your colleagues, your classmates accountable to going to vote as well.
Young people have the power to make a difference. So regardless of the weather, it's always important to go out and vote.
Traffic jam or not, the NAACP is willing to raise voting awareness like their lives depend on it. Reporting for Seminole Showcase, I'm Lindsay Charles.
The 2018 midterm elections had record turnout, and new voters on FSU campus were a big part of that. One group made it their mission to help every FSU student they could find get registered before the deadline. Thomas Brown was on the scene last October in Oglesby Union.
Are you registered to vote here in Tallahassee? All right.
In a democracy, every vote matters. But in order to get to the polls, you first have to get registered.
College students vote at historically bad rates, so we're trying to get 1, people registered to vote, and 2, people out to vote.
Porter Taylor is a volunteer for the FSU chapter of the New Voters Project, a nonpartisan group dedicated to motivating every young American they can reach to cast their ballot.
I think it's very important to get civically involved, and I've always thought voting, especially in local elections, is really important.
Andrew Clutie, the local head of the New Voters Project, is on a mission to ensure young people's voices are heard in November.
Helping other people register to vote is one of the most important things we can do as a generation to make sure that our leaders are representing our values.
They've made signing up more convenient than ever, and thousands have taken advantage of the opportunity.
I never knew how to update my registration, and I just came up to her and I was like, hey, I need to update that, and she totally knew exactly everything I was supposed to do, so it was super helpful.
With new energy in the movement, many hope change is coming.
That's why our systems don't work well for young people, and why we feel disillusioned is because politicians aren't listening to us because we're not voting.
The deadline to register is next week. Thanks to this organization, every student on campus should be ready to perform their civic duty.
Are you registered to vote?
Yes.
Hey, you registered to vote, sir?
Yes.
Ah, great to hear.
For Seminole Showcase, I'm registered voter Thomas Brown.
The group's efforts helped nearly 3,300 FSU students register in Leon County.
Since 1968, the CARE program at FSU has given minority students the opportunity of being the first in their family to receive higher education. The program is based in the Thager building between the HCB and Bellamy. Many enter the building with dreams and exit with accomplishments. This support system helps students get scholarships and even job opportunities to those who work hard. Freshman Devondrick Ponder is one of many who have been motivated and enlightened by CARE since coming to FSU.
I didn't know certain opportunities were open to black people in Florida and in the South until I came to this university and it opened my eyes to the broad perspectives and things that we can do and what we can accomplish. When I got that acceptance email, I was like, okay, all right, I'm in.
CARE welcomes 300 to 500 new scholars into their family every year, providing them with study rooms, computers, and free printing to ensure they thrive on campus and remain unconquered.
Look out, there could be a new Wolf on Wall Street, and they might be a Seminole.
A new organization on Florida State's campus looks to turn students into big-time investors. Jarvis tells us more.
It's not often you see students talking about stocks like it's fantasy football, but this could soon be a reality as students look to spread financial literacy across Florida State's campus.
I feel like a lot of times if you're not a finance major or an accounting major, you don't really get to learn those things. So as young adults, in college, it's important for us to learn things such as budgeting, balancing our checkbooks, building our credit.
Some students have a hard time managing their money and balancing their expenses, but sophomore Kenneth Cagnolati teaches students how to make their money multiply with Seminole.
We've been told by the media that we need to learn how to invest, but not a lot of people know how. So through Seminole, we hope to create a platform where we can learn about stocks, cryptocurrency, real estate, in a way that can be fun and engaging for the students while teaching them something at the same time.
The organization became an official recognized student organization this fall.
So I really love the Seminole's first meeting. I think it's really great that college students are finally learning, about money management and how to handle their finances. I'm really excited to see where this organization goes, and I think that they have a lot of potential.
Though the organization is fairly new, they have already began events and programming.
In the future, we plan on having our own stock portfolio where we can watch the stocks to see how we're doing as an organization. We also plan on inviting speakers to come on campus.
For Seminole Showcase, I'm Jarvis Floyd.
Seminole only hopes to grow in membership as they begin making their name known on campus.
In the fall of 2018, a new student-run organization called the Adobe Creative Group began hosting free workshops teaching graphic design skills. The instructors break down how to use programs like Photoshop, InDesign, and Illustrator step by step to make learning them less intimidating. Students of all majors are encouraged to go to the meetings because the skills are widely applicable, including making content such as business cards and resumes.
I'm very happy to have these workshops on campus, so everyone who's involved in design or art or any other major that's interested in these types of things has access to them.
Students can find the dates of the workshops on Facebook through the Florida Public Relations Association page. Adobe Creative Cloud applications can be found for free through the FSU Virtual Lab.
Many companies and movements use platforms like Facebook and Twitter to connect with their audience. FSU's College of Communication is meeting this new demand by offering COM 4561, a discussion-based course taught by a professor in digital media. The class teaches students how to use social media to successfully run a campaign on a topic of their interest. Some of the topics are animal adoption, mental health, sports safety, and sexual assault.
Here recently, we just have this whole industry that's really sprung out around this concept of social media, and it's also allowed some really, really cool things to happen in the world.
Students launch their campaigns midway through the semester, and many accomplish their campaign goals. I'm not surprised. I know I spend a lot of time on Facebook.
Don't we all? Krista Widiak joins us with entertainment. Hey Krista, what does your screen time look like?
Jarvis and Bernadette, too much time. But you know what I never get tired of? Radio. Over on the southern side of campus, Florida State's college radio station is broadcasting on air 24/7. Here's Seminole Showcase reporter Lauren Dominguez explaining just how you can get involved.
One step inside V89 and 31 years of student history is revealed by its walls. As one of FSU's most unique spaces, the college radio station, also known as WVFS Tallahassee, might seem like a pretty exclusive club. It's actually quite the opposite.
It's super easy access. There's a place for everyone who wants to get involved. You can go into any of the open access departments at any point in the semester, and they will find something for you to do and a way to make you feel welcome.
With a diverse range of open access departments including news, sports, public relations, continuity, and development, V89 offers a true real-world experience.
The only barrier to entry really is your own willingness to put yourself out there, but the people at V89 really make it easy to join because there's so many just open access volunteer departments.
To anyone walking in through these doors, V89 not only serves as a radio station, but a home away from home for Florida State students.
It's a place I can go and just hang out if I need homework to do. It's a place that I'm in constantly, be it because of news work or reviewing CDs or DJing. And I've met a lot of really great people through the radio station, and it's a really fun community of like-minded and not like-minded people that I just kind of feel like I'm on common ground with.
There's always people around. There's a live, warm body at the station 24/7.
Apart from holding semesterly cattle calls, you can always look up meeting times on their social media or website. It's located at 420 Diffenbaugh, and if you can't find it, try listening for some music. For Seminole Showcase, I'm Lauren Dominguez.
College radio is a great starting point for many students' careers. If you have any more questions, you can tune in to 89.7 FM, look up their website, or give the DJ a call at the number on your screen. Requests are welcome. The next big music act might just be in Tallahassee. A band created by FSU students called Just Chameleons is making waves in the local music community. The reggae, jazz fusion, and R&B band has performed at big-name festivals such as Halloween and Okeechobee. And you can catch the band led by lead singer and guitarist Kat Hall at the local Tallahassee venues like Proof Brewing Company during the semester. Members of FSU's Circus Club put on amazing shows together every October and April. And if you take a look behind the scenes, you'll see their bond extends far beyond the tent. The Flying High Circus has been entertaining crowds at Florida State for decades. Performers have to spend months practicing together to prepare for these special nights. It takes a lot of trust to pull off these tricks, but that's no problem when you're as close as this group is. Their shared love of showmanship has blossomed into a love for each other, and no one appreciates that more than President Brooke Garinger.
The circus is like the biggest family you'll ever be a part of on Florida State's campus. We have a lot of performers, but we're all super, super close. We spend a lot of time here at the tent practicing and rigging equipment and doing different things related to our performances, but we spend a lot of time together and we really accept and get to know each other, and it's like a great big family.
It takes a lot of work to juggle hobbies, extracurriculars, and friendships, but these kids make it look easy. Rogue Productions is an entirely student-run theater company, one of FSU's 800 student organizations. Their most popular event, 24-hour theater, takes place every fall and spring semester in the Williams Building. Groups are pre-selected or created randomly. They are given a prop, a song, and a photo, and then they have 24 hours to create a 15 to 20-minute performance. At the end of these 24 hours, the plays will be performed in front of a live audience.
Our group had no problems at all. It was so fun, and honestly, the only thing I wish we didn't do was sleep.
Each year, 24-hour theater gains a bigger audience, and many people go on to become participants in the future. A Florida State senior developed a new way to showcase locals in Tallahassee and all they have to offer. Take a listen.
I don't think you always see collaboration in different cities like you see it in Tallahassee.
Podcasts are an up-and-coming trend, something Tallahassee's Night Creative Communities Institute is embracing.
The Night Creative Communities Institute, otherwise known as KCCI, works to enhance quality of life and sense of place in the Tallahassee community.
Allison Levitt, a senior at Florida State, is an intern at KCCI and the brains behind the podcast series called Think TLH.
I had the idea for the podcast after I had been interacting with people in Tallahassee and seeing all these innovators and creators in Tallahassee that are making a difference.
There is no better place to highlight locals than right here in the capital, with no shortage of potential patrons and avid listeners.
We've had over 500 plays and we have had 9 episodes out so far, and we are recording more, so it's been really awesome to see the community get around it, and then just meeting people and talking about it and hearing them saying that they've listened to it. It's really cool to see how much it's grown.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool that an FSU student decided to create a podcast about Tallahassee. I'm sure it is super informative about the community and everything.
Creator Allison Levitt has some ideas for some upcoming episodes.
For an FSU kind of side, I think it'd be really interesting to get President Thrasher on the podcast, as well as Coach Taggart, just to hear how they've come to the community and what they've done to get involved.
KCCI puts out new episodes every Thursday, so don't forget the name, Think TLH. For all you podcast listeners out there, that was a scoop on Think TLH. For Seminole Showcase, I'm Chris Swidiak. Gotta get back to my podcast. There are multiple outlets to access Think TLH. Head to any podcast platform or check out KCCI's website to learn more about your city's local innovators and creators. And with the planet going pod crazy, it's cool to see an FSU student making an impact. Now, back to our own 2 peas in a pod, Jarvis and Bernadette.
Thanks, Krista. That was definitely corny.
Another place that FSU students are making Knoll Nation proud is the field.
Taylor Jennings joins us now with a look at sports.
Thanks, Jarvis and Bernadette. A legendary career in Florida State sports history will soon be coming to an end after the 2019 spring season. Seminole Showcase reporter Haley Blitch tells us how the FSU baseball program plans to make Mike Martin's last season a memorable one.
When you think of college baseball and the legends that have come from it, one name should come to mind: Mike Martin. Martin, better known as 11, will be leading the Seminoles in his 40th and final season. Over his career, he has 1,987 wins, the most in NCAA history. Martin earned this record in 2018, which left players beyond excited about playing for such a successful coach.
It's extremely cool to go out there knowing that, especially last year because we got the record, knowing that he has the most wins out of anybody, it's incredible.
Since this is 11's last fall ball, everyone is now looking for who is going to step up big in the spring.
Since we have a really good group of guys, older guys on the team, that they're gonna influence the younger guys to do what they need to do as well. And we have a really good freshmen this year, so if they do what they need to do as well, I think they're going to be a really important key to success this year.
Some of them have literally made me fall backwards, and I'm excited for that.
Coach Martin has been building a lifetime of success and achievements as Florida State baseball skipper. From the walls to the field, his legacy will live on forever.
This could be a special year for them, because that's what the program is all about.
With an exciting final season as head coach coming up, Martin will be pushing his team to new limits. For Seminole Showcase, I'm Haley Blitch.
The Noles will be back at Dick Howser Stadium to start the 2019 season in a 4-game series against the Maine Black Bears starting February 15th. For the second time in program history, the FSU women's soccer team is national champions. The Noles beat North Carolina 1-0 in December's championship match. The program says that the secret to its success lies in its diversity, with 7 international players on the team. Senior midfielder Megan Connolly from Cork, Ireland, is one of them. She found that the experience benefits her just as much as the Noles.
FSU has kind of built the foundation for me to be able to do that. Back in 2015, I got my first cap against the USA here after playing my first season here. So I think definitely they kind of both in a mix. Being here has developed me as a player to allow me to kind of progress at the international level.
Because this team is made up of players from 8 different countries, when attending an FSU soccer match, you may hear a variety of accents at any time during the game. FSU sports have been around for many years, and 2018 commemorated the 50th anniversary of women's intercollegiate sports here at Florida State, and there are plenty of highlights from these impressive women. Each year, Florida State fans can look forward to the women's success on the field.
Women's athletics here at Florida State is consistently good, and they are just so proud to be here, and they represent Florida State really well.
Since 1968, when volleyball took the court as the first intercollegiate sport for women at FSU, Florida State has continued to dominate women's athletics.
Well, I think that, part of being a competitive athlete, and in our case, coach, is wanting to go out and perform all the time. And I think that the players in our team have gone out and just done a great job over the course of time, and stringing together very good results year after year after year.
And their quest for excellence continues each and every year. In the last 50 years, Florida State has won 8 women's national championships. Most recently, the soccer team brought home the NCAA title this past fall, and so did the softball team in the summer of 2018. And although women's athletics pride themselves on their success, they still remember what it means to be an unconquered Seminole.
There's a standard of being a Florida State Seminole that really embraces you when you arrive here on campus, but then it loves you just like family, and you really want to achieve the highest you can for the name across your chest, and we're very proud of that.
And if the Lady Noles continue their success for the next 50 years, they're sure to stay on top. For Seminole Showcase, I'm Taylor Jennings. And this spring, the FSU women's basketball team hopes to once again make it to the NCAA tournament, and the softball team looks to defend its national championship. A big change to the way that students are able to obtain tickets for high-profile sporting events. It went from a system that rewarded seniority and fandom to a weighted lottery. The director of ticket operations says this makes the system fair for all students. That way, anyone has the chance to go to coveted games like men's basketball against Duke or football against Miami in the fall. Here at FSU, sports aren't just focused on the players. Fans get fired up for football games like no other. But there is this one particular group of guys that paint up for every home game and sit in the front rows. Seminole Showcase reporter Katie Shatler tells us more about who they are.
You have probably seen these boys painted in a checkered pattern either in photos around school or even at games. But who are they?
Last time.
These boys are all members of a campus ministry called the Navigators. They have been painting up to show their school spirit since the early 2000s.
To Michael's, and normally I buy about however many people are painting up, so 4 boys to 1 bottle. And then I try to find the closest to garnet and gold that we have at Michael's. Sometimes I find the right color, sometimes not, but normally I find enough paint for everyone to paint up. I think the most we had is going to be this week. We have 25 people painting up.
Every football season, in recognition of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the girls get to paint up with the guys. So naturally, I decided to join in.
They show up 4 hours before every home football game to paint up. Each boy and girl takes about 15 to 20 minutes to paint. For this special game, they are all sporting a pink ribbon for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. As soon as the gates are open, they race to the front row to show their school spirit.
I've always been a diehard sports fan, so I enjoy taking it to another level when I'm in person supporting my team. And with that, also seeing the joy that it brings other fans as well, and the excitement that it builds in them. I love taking pictures with other fans. They're like, you guys are doing something really cool and awesome. Like, can I get a picture with you? I love it because they're not doing it because it's us. They're doing it because they love the school and they think it's really cool.
Reporting for Seminole Showcase, I'm Katie Schottler.
The Checker Boys have also been featured in an online game called Rescue the Mascots as the superfans for Florida State. You can see them at the next home football game. So, Jarvis and Bernadette, when are you both painting up for a home game?
Taylor, let's leave that for the experts.
Here's a question everybody wants to know the answer to. Is there life on other planets?
Seminole Showcase reporter Adrian Torres gives us the details on a new NASA mission that aims to prove that the universe may not be as lonely as it seems.
If this photo grid just looks like static to you, take a closer look. Every one of these dots is a star, each having the potential to contain one or more Earth-like planets in their orbit. If that wasn't mind-boggling enough, this is only the first of several science images to be captured by NASA's Transiting Exoplanet Survey satellite launched last April. Made public on September 17th, this image demonstrates the power of NASA's latest tool in the hunt for humanity's next home. Dean of Graduate Studies and former astronomy professor Dr. Riley weighs in.
And when you look at the numbers of stars out there, and Tess will help us look at the number of planets out there, and how many could be in the Goldilocks zone, then the odds are that we are not alone in the universe.
While astrophysicists here at FSU have yet to begin exploring exoplanets, the data collected from the TESS mission might just open up a new field of possibilities for student researchers.
Students are here, they're eager to learn, they want to know the latest. TESS is a state-of-the-art instrument gathering state-of-the-art data, and it's helping us push the science frontiers ever forward. And when you think of the questions that it's exploring, I mean, who cannot get excited about that?
Reporting for Seminole Showcase, I'm Adrian Torres.
Over the next 2 years, scientists hope to discover at least 20,000 new exoplanets with the help of the TESS mission. To keep up with the latest discoveries, you can visit the TESS website for more information. That's going to do it for this edition of Seminole Showcase.
Thanks so much for watching.